Well, I'm in the middle of getting this Sturm Kaffer, however you say it, Storm Beetle done. It's a machining Krieger kit, 1/35th scale. A lot of fun to build. Really having a lot of fun with this. And instead of each episode being focused on a stage of building the model, I'm kind of using it as a backdrop for some techniques. The first two videos were about simple scratch building. The second one was painting a simple cockpit. The third video, which I have finished, will be about doing freehand airbrush camouflage, and you can see that I've got this painted up. After I got it painted up, I gave it a gloss coat to get it ready for decals. And what I'll be doing off camera is getting the decals on and doing the panel lining. And then the next video in the series will be about post-fading and post-shading the model. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the last one because I'll need to do something to conclude it. I could just call it, episode 5 of this build and call it Weathering the Model. It seems like the titles that focus on a particular skill seem to do better than just saying, okay, I'm painting this model. So I'm not real sure where I'm going to go with that. And if you're wondering, well, why don't you just build it? Why don't you just have fun building? That's what you talk about doing. Well, number one, I am having fun. The model is fun, but two, as I've talked about before, for good or bad, I'm at a point that this gig, this YouTube and Patreon gig, is part of our income. It's not just something that supports the hobby; it's something that supports the family. So if it's a choice between doing a video that if I just say this is about painting this machining Krieger model, or if it's a video titled how to do freehand airbrush camouflage, well, I'm going to go for the latter because it's going to get a few more views. Still the same video, still the same content. But it does require some decisions to be made. Unfortunately, not to do with this model, but unfortunately, I'm really enjoying painting minis. Like I've said, I'm not going to switch to those exclusively, but I'm really enjoying them. But man, nobody wants to see me paint minis. Those have just performed awfully. So I'll still do them, but I'm probably not going to do as many as I had planned. I'd planned to do maybe 6 or 8 this year. I'm probably going to cut that back a little bit and focus on some other things just because I like doing it, but I can always do it off camera. So I can enjoy it that way. But anyway, I'm enjoying building this, and because there's going to be this interim stage that I'm not going to document, I thought I'd just talk a little bit about it today. I did the airbrush freehand camouflage for the paints. I used what I'm calling the Tamiya German Trinity, XF90, XF89, and XF88. Why did I do that backwards? I don't know. And I've heard different opinions about whether these are accurate colors or not. For the sake of something that's supposed to be 400 or 500 years from now, I'm not really worried about it. Heck, if I was doing it for something that was historical, I wouldn't really worry about it. Who am I kidding? But these colors work really well together. I really like them. And the idea for this camouflage was from some World War II Italian fighter aircraft I had seen, or maybe it was bombers. I haven't been able to find the photo. I found some that were the green color with tan splotches. And you may have seen what you normally see is tan fighters with green kind of smoke ring camouflage. But I have seen some that were green with these red-brown patches and then kind of a tan circle around it. So I wanted to do something a little bit like that. And I actually put some thought into the pattern because I thought, okay, I want this to be kind of like something that would be applied by the crew on the ground. So I started looking at it and saying, well, if they were standing up doing this, how would they do it? Well, they would do it along the sides because that's where they could reach. Because in 1/35th scale, a man you know, you'd have to have a step ladder just to be able to get up this high. And so that's why I've got them spaced as I do along the sides there. And then there's this one that's right on the top, because I can just, I mean, I've been there. I can just imagine the crewman getting done and going, "Okay, Sarge, we're done." And he's going, "You dummies, you didn't put any on the top." And then like, "Oh, okay." And so they just do one right on the top. I also left this area blank because that's where I'm going to have the number, and I didn't want the camouflage competing with that. But I really like the way this turned out. It's going to be a lot of weathering on it. I did put a gloss coat on it because I thought for the next stage that I'm going to show on camera, which is, or the stage that I'm not going to show, which is decaling and panel lining, I want it to just be as simple as I can get it. And doing it over a gloss finish at those steps is just super simple. And then when I do the post shading and post fading, it won't really matter whether it's gloss or anything like that, because I'm going to do that with the airbrush. So hopefully that'll turn out okay. I've got this little nose piece here that's going to go on the front and give it a pop of color. I thought that yellow would look pretty good. You know, I didn't even look at the decals to see what color the markings were, but when I grabbed them, I saw that they had yellow too, and it's darn near a spot-on match. So, and I never even looked at the decals. Maybe I you know, subliminally remembered it, subliminally in the back of my mind remembered it. But I thought that looked pretty good, so it'll just give kind of a splash of color on it. Now on the bottom, again, this is not something I'm showing on camera. It's got this, I don't know, transmission area, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted it to appear a little bit rusty, so I mixed up a color. You can see it. It's this kind of brownish color. It's lead belcher and administratum gray and troll slayer orange. 1-to-1 for the lead belcher and the administratum gray, and then I just put in some troll slayer orange until I got this kind of, it gave me a metallic rusty look. That's what I was going for, something that had a little bit of a metallic sheen, which I ended up completely covering over. You can see it here without any other weathering on top of it. I painted that part, but this will go over here and it'll cover up most of it. But this rear half will be seen, and it'll be seen from the sides. So I thought I wanted to do something there. But I wanted to further enhance the rust tones. I wanted to really make this look like it was rusting. And of course I thought, well, you know, I could use this, which I showed in a vlog a while back, and I like it. But I wanted it to overall be a little darker. And when you start manipulating this with water, it gives you a lot of brighter yellow tones, which I did not want. And then it occurred to me, hey, dummy, you could put this on, and then instead of using water, use some rust I'm Sean Connery, rust washes to manipulate it around and change the tone a little bit. So I started doing that, and I really like the way it turned out. Getting a little bit of the yellow there on the sides, but I'm okay with that. But like back here and along here, of course, right here where it won't be seen is where it got exactly like I wanted it. But so anyway, I painted it that custom color, as Lincoln Wright says. I painted it that custom color, except he does it with an Aussie accent, that I talked about. I put some Agrax Earthshade over that to kind of make the details stand out, and then I just fairly liberally coated it with this Dirty Down Rust. And then once that dried, I just started manipulating it with just brushfuls of this light rust and dark rust wash. And I am pretty happy with how that came out. So this is looking all right. So I'm going to get the decals on and the panel lining on. And then the next video, like I said, will be post shading and post fading. And then who knows where it's going to go from there.